Welcome to BYU Idaho at BYU Idaho Stadium. I'm Cameron.
And I'm Braden, and tonight we're going to have a really good game of some football. Tonight is the BYU Idaho Football Championship between the Vikings and the Hurricanes.
Yeah, we're going to actually have a starting with a prayer by James Dawson. It's customary at BYU Idaho that we'd like to start off our sporting events with a prayer just for the safeties of the players and for everybody that has been participating within the sport.
Yep. Now we're going to go ahead and have the national anthem. And when that happens, it's going to be sung by James Dawson. But you know we're really excited about tonight. We're going to have a good showing between the Hurricanes and the Vikings.
Yeah, James Dawson gave the prayer and he's singing.
Awesome. We'd like to thank James Dawson for singing that national anthem. We're getting ready to do the coin toss right now. The coin toss is going to be done by Lane Rollins. He graduated from BYU in economics. About that same exact time, he married his beautiful wife, Mary Jo Love. Together, they have 3 children and 11 grandchildren. Currently, he is the president of the University of North Texas and former president of Washington State University. He also served as the Pac-10 representative to the NCAA, and he loves Washington State University athletics, fly fishing, golf, and history. So it's really good to have these alumni come out. Like we announced earlier, this is the BYU Championship football game, and it's actually the alumni game as well, so it's a big deal here at BYU Idaho tonight. Like we said, we've got Lane Rollins, who graduated from BYU Idaho and married his wife all about the same time and graduated with a major in economics.
Yeah, and also before the game starts, anybody that's listening to the students at BYU Idaho, we just want to invite you out. Before halftime, you still have time to get here for the helicopter ping pong ball drop, which is going to be a raffle for $100 worth off at the BYU Idaho bookstore. So after the toss, the Hurricanes deferred, and the Vikings will take the ball for the first quarter, for the first half.
Cameron, what do you think we're going to see out of these two teams tonight, with it being the championship and you knowing a little bit about both these teams as being a former coach?
Well, the Hurricanes have come a long way. As you remember, Braden, when we first started broadcasting up here for BYU Idaho's football program, they were a little under par. I guess we could put it that way. Their quarterback was out with a minor surgery, and Reg, number 7, who is now starting running back for the Hurricanes, is now taking the place out his primary position running back. The quarterback's back, and you see him here in the championship game. As for the Vikings have been playing hard all season. They have all their players. Looks like there's no injuries, and they are undefeated, which means that they have beat the Hurricanes once before, and in their minds, they can beat them again.
Yeah. You know, we've seen both these teams play before, and they're really good teams. That's why they're here at the championship. So we're really excited to see what's going to happen tonight between these two ball clubs, and it's gonna be a good night of football. It always is when we come out here on Friday nights to BYU Idaho to support these students and what they do.
I was just going to say, Braden, for the Vikings to receive, we have number 2, Daniel Hutchison, Hutch Thompson, and number 8, Josh Evans, or Daniel Evans. Daniel Evans has played many years up here at BYU Idaho, and he's won many offensive MVPs for receiver. So I think that the Hurricanes are really going to have to play some good secondary defense.
Yeah,
to shut down the Vikings.
Absolutely. Especially with Reg not being quarterback anymore and having their starting quarterback, I think we're going to see a lot better of a game from the Hurricanes. They're going to put a lot more passing, I believe, is what we're going to see. So with the kickoff underway, Daniel Evans gets the ball. It looks to be about the 7-yard line, but they're going to mark it at the 20 because of the rules that BYU Idaho has come out with this year.
Yeah, they're just doing it for the protection of the students and their benefits. I know a lot of the players aren't really in agreement with it, but it's not their call, and for their own safety, that's why we have it. Exactly. So with the first series of the championship game, we're going to see what the Vikings can do here. Once again, it's 8-on-8. It's 8-man football.
It's 8-man football. So it's a little less. It really opens the field for a lot of pass plays, and that's why we think that we're going to see the ball in the air a lot. Actually, Cameron, if I remember, this was the first game that we actually ever broadcasted was this matchup. It was the Hurricanes versus the Vikings. Chris Bundy at quarterback, and he's going to go ahead and do a draw with number 28, Ryan Williams, with the carry.
And it was about an 11-yard gain for the first down. So the Vikings start off strong. Now it's going to take a lot of pressure from the 2 down linemen on the defensive side of the ball in order to stop this efficient offense.
Yeah, Ryan Williams really had a really strong run right there, about 11 yards. It's hopefully we see a lot bigger runs, but as a first play, that's a big run out of him, and hopefully we see a lot more of him. So Chris Bundy back with the throw over the middle, great catch and a great hit by number 30.
That's Victor. His last name is really hard to pronounce for me, but he's one of my good friends, and he has really stepped up his playing since last year. Yeah. As you can see, he read that play nicely for the tackle.
Yeah.
But those linebackers are really going to have to sit there and read the pass better.
Exactly. 82, number Daniel Parkinson with that catch. A really good catch, way to keep his eye on the ball and bring that in. So Chris Bundy with the fake.
Interception. And I can't see his number, but
intercepted by number 1 by Marshall Meyer. So Marshall Meyer already kind of starting off with a big defensive play. That's a crucial point in the game, even so early. Chris Bundy needs to be able to come back next series and keep his head up and just know that mistakes are allowed to happen on the football field.
Yeah, and the thing is that and they're lining up in a I don't even know what kind of formation this is called.
I honestly don't know what you could call that right now, Cameron.
They're motioning him back. Okay, what they're trying to do is they're trying to do a quick play. They're trying to draw the defense outside, which will give more space for Reg to run. But they saw that it wasn't working, so now they're going into a pistol wishbone, it looks like. A pistol full house. And it's an outside run by number 2, James Parrish. And if you remember him last game, he's really quick, Braden. He can get to the end, and he can avoid tackles. And
yeah, really looking at him, though, as he stands next to those linemen and the quarterback. He's a small little guy, but he's quick, which is good. Hopefully he can break a lot of tackles tonight with his speed and just bust through that line. And hopefully we see him bust open for a couple long runs tonight to get into the end zone.
And looks like they're doing it again. They're lining up on the outside, trying to draw the defense. And really, this is something that I used to run in high school. And what we would just try to do, this would more be a special teams play, trying to go for two. And as you can see, it wasn't working. But he gets the ball off to Reg, and Reg gets taken, looks like 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
So I'm not quite sure if that was the play that you need to call second play of your first series. Honestly, we obviously can't say what the coach is thinking, but if I was a coach in that situation, that's not the type of play I'm calling right now with the score 0-0 still and with a lot of room to go. There's still a lot of carpet to cover, and we got to try to figure out what the Hurricanes are going to do next.
Yeah. Like you were saying, it looks like the Hurricanes are actually just going to start playing hard-nosed football now instead of trying to line up in odd formations. Once again, they're in the pistol full house, and which that just means there's 3 running backs in the backfield to give it a more of a what likes to call an elusive type of play for one of the running backs out of the 3 to get the ball and maybe get a 18-yard gain or 15-yard gain, for the first down.
Yep. So we got a flag on the field. It's offsides on the offense. It's going to be a penalty.
So now it's going to be 3rd and 21, actually.
Yep. So there's a long you have to think they're going to the air right now. So you have to think the Vikings are going to be playing a little bit more of a zone defense, trying to make sure that they don't go deep on them and try to get that first down in one shot.
Yeah, and it looks like they're lining up in that weird formation again. My guess is that they're just trying to.
It's a good pitch by.
That was a good open field tackle as well.
Yep. Still can't get to the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage from the first down. They're still about 2 yards short of that beginning mark. So now with 4th and 12, we're going to see what the Hurricanes decide to do.
Yeah, and it looks like the punt team's coming on the field, which is a smart decision. Not knowing what they were going to do because of how many trick plays they're trying to run and the weird formations they're lining up in. For the Hurricanes to win, they're going to have to be more effective on offense. They're going to have to hold the ball and run the timeout because the Vikings have a high-powered offense and are able to score fast.
Yep. Reg back to take that punt, and Daniel Evans back to receive it at the 15-yard line. 16-yard line.
It looks like that's where they'll start.
So we're going to see, hopefully, Chris Bundy come back and wipe his head clean of that interception, and let's see him march down the field and see what they can do here in this next possession.
Yeah, and we actually have a lot of people here in the crowd today. For all those that are listening to us, we want to thank everyone that has come out, and we want to invite all those that are listening that are here on campus to come out and support your competitive sports here at BYU Idaho.
Chris Bundy back with the snap in the shotgun formation.
Nice play by number 30, Vic.
Beautiful pass, though, and catch over the middle to Daniel Parkinson again. I think we're going to see that combination a lot tonight. It looks like they have a good chemistry, and that Daniel trusts Chris, and Chris trusts him, and I think we're going to see them connect a lot tonight.
Yeah, the main thing is for the Hurricanes is that Chris Bundy is an elusive quarterback. He's able to run and throw on the run. So you can't just assume that if he tucks the ball, he's committed to running the ball, because that's just not this type of quarterback he is.
Those are really some of the deadliest type of quarterbacks.
That was a great open field tackle by number 2, James Parrish. He's from Rexburg, Idaho, and he's been playing for about 12 years, and it showed right there.
Yeah, he really broke on that ball and read the play really well. He saw Chris Bundy pull back and look at Ryan Williams for that dish out to the outside, and Ryan Williams did a really good job of holding onto that ball. But like you said, James Parrish just read it and picked that up really quick.
Yeah, and with this being the championship game, both teams are going to have to go all out every play. There's not going to be any time that you're going to see a player take it down and hope for the best. But it looks like, was that Hutchison?
I believe that is Ryan Williams again.
Yep,
Ryan Williams again with that catch. Oh, no, I take that back. It was Bernie.
That was Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Roy
he has the same numbers he did last year for the Wildcats.
So it was a good run by Ryan Williams to make that catch and to get outside, and he broke a lot of tackles there. So we're going to see next what they do.
So, but like I was saying before, that great play by the Vikings. This is a championship game, and there's not going to be another football season until fall of 2013. So these players know what's on the line. Each team wants a ring. The winner of this game will get a ring and get a banquet in their honor. So they know what's on the line, and they know what they've worked for all season. The Hurricanes know that they've been blessed to be here after the start that they had in the loss of their starting quarterback and him being back just in time for the playoffs. And the Vikings have been undefeated all season, and they don't want to lose that record just like they did last year, where they were a strong team, but they ended up losing in the playoff game, and they ended up finishing fourth out of the 4 teams.
So Chris Bundy with the draw play, and Ryan Williams with the carry. Gets to the outside, breaks a tackle or two, and gets down to the 25-yard line. So that's a really good run by Ryan Williams to break some ankles and leave guys behind to get almost to the red zone.
Yeah, and there's nothing really special about the way Ryan runs. He just lowers his head, and he tries to gain extra yards. And that's the beauty of him as a running back, is you are expected for your team to get those extra 3 to 4 extra yards after first contact. So we'll see what they can do here in the about the 25. They can put in the end zone with about 6:41 left on the clock.
You have a trips left formation. Chris Bundy looking to the left. Beautiful route by Josh Ellsworth, and he brings it in, catches it, and brings it in for the touchdown.
Yeah, and what happened there was a breakdown by Reg. He just thought that the receiver was going to break inside, but he kept going outside, and Bundy read that perfectly. He knew that was going to happen, and he just lobbed it right over the head of Reg Sutton for the touchdown.
Yep, if I remember correctly, Josh Ellsworth, last game that we broadcasted them as well, was a really strong receiver. So we're really excited to see what's going to happen here. Looks like they're going to just go for one. Bring back the kicker, number 32, to get this ball through the uprights.
Yeah, and up here at BYU Idaho, it seems like a lot of the special teams have struggled after the touchdown. So we'll see if they can put the extra point up here on the board.
They got
That's good. So there we go. We have the first points up on the board. Vikings 7, Hurricanes 0.
So it's going to be a good game. Those are the Vikings that we saw before. They're going to be the the team I think that as of right now is going to carry it. We're going to see what happens, and we're going to see if the Vikings can keep their undefeated record.
Yeah, and right now the Hurricanes need to score fast, or not necessarily fast, Braden, but more they need to control the possession of the ball that they have, and they need to not really do their trick plays. They need to be able to be efficient on offense and score, because if they don't, I have a feeling that the Vikings can get this game out of hand real fast.
Yep. I mean, there's a reason the Vikings are undefeated, and that's just because they score and they take advantage of it, and they keep that momentum going the entire time. So right now we got some cheerleaders down on the field getting ready and getting the students and the alumni into the game. It looks like they're having a fun time, and we're really grateful for all the people that came out to support this game tonight, and those of you that are listening and watching. We understand that a lot of you guys might be alumni and are just wasn't able to make it out to the game, but are watching online. So we're thankful for you guys, and congratulations on your special night tonight.
And with the Hurricanes back on offense, it would be a smart decision if they played the way they did last week in the playoff, in the semifinals, because the way that they were playing last week against the Hawks was very impressive. I was at the game, Braden, and I was watching them, and it came down to the wire with under a minute to go. The Vikings had to put some points up on the board to win the game, and they were efficient, and they scored. So I know that they can do it. It's just a matter of will they. And number 10 with the carry, quarterback. His name is not on the roster from the coaches giving us, but he ran the option and decided to keep it himself. for what looked like a gain of 8, so it's going to be 2nd and 2.
So with 2nd down, 2 to go, we're gonna see the Hurricanes come out here again in that full pistol formation. They're gonna hand it off to Reg. We saw a big game out of Reg the first time these two teams met. He had a really good job of carrying the ball and passing it, and now his only worry is carrying the ball. So we're gonna see him really put his head down and just try to get those big runs tonight.
Yeah, and that was his position like we discussed last time. He played at a NAIA school in Montana prior to coming up to BYU Idaho for transferring. And his primary position was running back, played some linebacker. But like I said, his primary position was running back, and he knows how to do it. And the coaches just need to trust him and let him be able to run the ball. And it looks like the carry was by number 31.
I think the kind of just from watching the quarterback's body movements there and his manner, he wasn't sure if he wanted to hand that ball off. It looked like it was a late handoff, and he kind of kept it in his running back's gut a little longer than he wanted to. Kind of trying to read that defense until the very last second to know if he needed to pull it and tuck it and run, or if he needed to give it away. And we saw that he gave it away, and they had a loss of yards. So we're going to see what they can do now, if they can, with 2 back or 2 lined up behind the line of scrimmage and 2 on the line of scrimmage. We're going to see what play they can pull now.
So the pitch was a little bit behind Reg, but Reg ends up coming down with it and gets back to the line of scrimmage. So it will be 3rd and 10, which brings up a passing situation for the Hurricanes. The score is still 7-0 for the Vikings with about 4 minutes and 15 seconds left on the play clock for the first quarter of play, and it's 3rd and 10.
Yep. You know, this really is a key possession right now for the Hurricanes. If they can get a good pass and convert on this, they can keep the momentum going. Every team starts off a little weak their first series. We saw that both from the Vikings and the Hurricanes. But the Vikings were able to come out and score on their second possession, and hopefully we can see that out of the Hurricanes. The ruling on the field is it hit the ground before the receiver was able to catch it. So it's going to be an incomplete pass, which brings up 4th down and 10. So like I was saying, this was a really kind of a key down right there for the Hurricanes to keep their momentum going. Hopefully they don't get down on themselves, and they punt that ball away and be able to come back in a defensive series.
Yeah, the one thing that the Hurricanes cannot do is get down on themselves, because as soon as they do that, they have admitted defeat.
Absolutely.
And with the Vikings, like I said earlier, it can get out of hand fast.
So Daniel Evans with the reception on that punt, back to receive that punt, and he does so on the 29-yard line. So again, we're going to see what the Vikings can put together offensively, and we're going to see if they can score again and get in the end zone. They had a lot of good catches by Josh Ellsworth and by Daniel Parkinson, with a couple good runs by Ryan Williams. So we're going to see what their big 3. It sounds like every team's got their big 3. This team's got a big 4.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what Chris Bundy can do with his offense and see if they can march him down.
Yeah, it really does start with the quarterback position. If you have a efficient quarterback, you can run any type of offense you really desire to and end up putting points up on the board. And that's all that the Vikings are looking for at this time. There's a blitz by Reg. Nice catch by Daniel Evans. And for a gain of 8, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 2. If I was the Hurricanes right now, I would come out in a run defense, prepared for the pitch outside, just because I know how Ryan has been running lately, and he's going to get those extra 1 yard. It looks like they got a generous spot by the referees.
Yeah, I think with only 1 yard to go, they're bound to give the ball to Daniel, or to
Ryan.
To Ryan Williams. So with them pulling back in the shotgun, Ryan Williams standing next to the quarterback, we're going to see what they decide to do here on this play.
And as he goes in motion. Oh, it's a draw.
And it really was a beautiful play by Chris. I don't know if it was drawn out to do that, or if they wanted to open up the field, but he saw the hole and he decided to take it, tuck it, and run. So he had options to throw it to, but he decided that he he wanted to get the first down right there with no risky plays.
Yeah, I think just by my personal opinion, I think that was a design play, just the way that they had everybody go in motion and they had Ryan go in motion, drawing the linebackers outside, following him, which left the middle wide open because there's only 2 men rushing. And so Chris Bundy was able to tuck it and run, gain of, I believe it was 9 yards. And he pulls down again, takes off. And a gain of 15 yards.
That was a really key move by Chris Bundy right there. I know as I played receiver in high school, we were always taught to block our cornerbacks to the inside of the field so that the teams could be able to go to the outside. And I just remember a lot of the times the running backs and the quarterbacks wouldn't take that outside block, but the receiver did a really good job of pushing his man to the inside, and Chris Bundy saw that and decided to go on the outside of his receiver to get a couple more yards.
Yeah, you know, I used to coach my players up, and I would say that the key to an effective run game is for your receivers to block.
Yep.
If you have good blocking receivers, then you're going to have a good run game because it doesn't matter if you're running or passing. The defense has to prepare for either one. And if you're passing, you can get off the blocks and get one deep for a touchdown. And if you're running, then the DBs are trying to get off the block, and your running back gets 3 to 5 yards.
Exactly. That was a beautiful catch by Daniel Parkinson for the first down. So with that, they're getting even closer to the end zone again, Cameron. And really, the Vikings are just moving this ball really well. It doesn't seem like the Hurricanes' defense is any problem for them. Hopefully, the Hurricanes can step up here and make some defensive stops here because they could go up an easy 14-0 before the first quarter is even over, and that's not going to look good for the Hurricanes.
It won't be. It's going to be a bigger hole that they're going to have to dig themselves out of. But I can tell you probably the alumni here are rooting for the Vikings because when it was Ricks College, they were the Vikings, and they were a dominant junior college at that. So you know that the alumni wanting the Vikings to step up and win the championship.
Yep. Daniel Evans did a really good job of bringing that ball down. It was a little high. I think he probably heard a little bit of the footsteps. He grabbed the ball, though, and was looking to dodge that tackle and got maybe a yard or so out of it, but the receiver was still able to bring him down.
And with 2 minutes coming up, it is still 7-0 Vikings in the red zone at the 15. We're going to see if the Vikings are able to put it in the end zone before the quarter is over to go up 14-0 on the Hurricanes.
You know, Cameron, just looking around, there's still students and alumni just pouring into the stadium, so it's really good to see that. Hopefully, those listening, if you're here in Rexburg, you can come out and watch the game live. It's going to be a lot better of an experience. But right there, we had Daniel Evans with another beautiful catch. Chris Bundy and him are really connecting well. Same with Williams and with Daniel Parkinson. They're all just got a really good connection tonight. I don't believe there's been a dropped pass except for that one interception. So it looks like it's going to be a really efficient game for the Vikings.
Yeah, you know, Chris Bundy and Daniel Evans have played together for, I believe, the past 3 to 4 years up here in the competitive football league. And so they're going to have that chemistry. What the Hurricanes need to do is start playing tighter on the receivers, especially Daniel Evans, because he's the one that's making most of the plays. Right now, Daniel Evans is wide open across the middle. They go to him.
Oh.
And there's a penalty on the
No penalty on the play, but I think Daniel Evans was looking for one. Oh, I apologize. Didn't see the flag. Looked like some players were standing over it, but there is a penalty on the play.
And if they call this a defensive pass interference, I'm going to have to disagree with the refs right here. You know, that is a bad call by the referee. What happened was Ryan Williams was coming across the middle while the defense was going for the ball. And when Ryan Williams and Daniel Evans crossed, they ran into each other. That was not defensive pass interference. That was incidental contact on the defense, which should not have been a call.
Yeah, you know, but the refs are always correct. You know, they're the ones that have the better look, and they're kind of the ones that have to make the call on the play. So the refs made the call, and with that, the Vikings are just a little bit closer to getting to that end zone.
And it's interception in the end zone. Great play by the Hurricanes. Touchback starting at the 20. 45 seconds left on the clock. And the Hurricanes really did step up, and you can see the displeasure of Chris Bundy's face right now.
Yeah, you know, he was just trying to get rid of that ball. He had two guys merging on him to make the tackle, and he was trying to get it up over the defender's head, but wasn't able to do so.
And you can see the frustration on Bundy right now. He dropped his helmet. He was on the 5-yard line. He's trying to get it in the end zone. He's trying to make something out of nothing, and it came back to bite him. But he just needs to, he needs to lift up his head and get ready for the next series.
You can see him talking with his wide receivers. I remember always having those discussions with your quarterback after an interception or after a missed block. You always get that little bit of frustration when guys don't make their assignment. So you can see that frustration on Chris Bundy's face right now.
Yeah, and that was a great run by Reg. He broke it to the outside. As the cornerback was the last person to beat, ended up grabbing the tail end of his jersey, pulling him down out of bounds, but it was a gain of 12 for the first down. Gain of 15, I apologize. So we're going to see if they're able to continue the progress that they just made right here. The Hurricanes really do need to, and it looks to me like they're going back to the way that they've been playing all season.
Yeah.
They're not going into that weird formation that they lined up in the beginning of the game. They saw that it wasn't working, and they just decided not to. As Reg bounces off a tackler, he's just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down what looks to be 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 14. With time running down, it looks like the Hurricanes are just going to let the clock run to start the second quarter.
So with the 15 seconds left and counting, we've got the Vikings up 7-0 on the Hurricanes. We're going to take this into the second quarter and see what the Hurricanes can come out and do with this new momentum they've got.
Yeah, and we'll be back right after these messages.
The Hawks select Dion Birch.
BYU Idaho competitive football held its first open draft on Friday. In past years, the draft has always been behind closed doors. This year, that all changed.
Competitive football has chosen to use a draft that is a public draft this year. What we felt that we were missing by having behind the closed doors was the involvement of the participants and some of the excitement that goes on behind the scenes.
The road to the draft started at the Taylor Building as players went to a mandatory meeting where they were told of some of the health services that would be available during the season. In the meeting, they were also taught how to avoid serious injuries. The next step was to test every player's strength, speed, and vertical jump through drills that were provided by one of Brother Steve Kimball's classes.
One of the things that you need to do in any kind of fitness programs is you need to have a baseline reading to see where people are at. You do that by testing them. And we realized that the competitive sports programs here have they always have these tryouts. Well, at a lot of places what they'll do is they'll do not only a tryout for skill-based things like throwing and passing and receiving and route running, but they also have performance-based strength, agility, speed, and power.
Day 2 of tryouts went from testing strength and speed to skills on the field, including passing, catching, route running, and footwork. Head coach Tyler Shotwell pointed out that he won't be able to change the player's strength or speed in the time that he has, but he's looking for other characteristics in who he drafts.
The main thing that I look for is people that I can get along with. There's so many people out here that it's really hard to get a strong sense of how good a football player they are, but I like to get up to people and just kind of talk to them and see if they laugh and they have a good time and they're excited to be out here. That's really more important to me, just because it shows that they can work with people really well.
Another reason for the draft is to get players excited to play and have the connection to the team that they get drafted to.
We also felt that we were missing out on a lot. There was a disconnect between the coaches behind closed doors. This is my roster of my team. Now I have to call them up on the phone or send them an email and say, you're on my team. There were several people who either didn't get the message that they're on a team or ignored the message because they were unsatisfied. We felt if we had them in person, they could connect face-to-face with their team and be able to see who their teammates were and feel excited about being drafted to that team.
The road to the BYU Idaho Football Championship begins at the draft. The draft begins behind the scenes. You have to have the lights, the cameras, before you have the action.
I work down in the issue room, and we're setting up here tonight the draft for football, for competitive football, and a lot of the equipment that they use, extension cords, computers, some tables, uniforms that they're going to be giving to the players as they are drafted, all come from the issue room. We were able to help them get those things.
Hours before the draft, the cameras are set up, the cords are strung out, and the lights are programmed for the night's presentation.
I'm just getting ready for the football draft. We're making some lights for the show.
And we're back. I'm Cameron.
And I'm Braden, and we're getting ready to start off this second quarter with the first play underway. Looks like it's a fumble.
And the quarterback just needs to hold on to that ball. This is the second time he's tried to do that. First time, Reg was able to grab onto it. But this time, he just made a bad pitch, a bad play, and they just caused a turnover when they're starting to get progress going into the end zone.
Yeah, you know, we went into that break talking about how the Hurricanes needed to take that momentum and be able to go down the field and use it to their advantage. And unfortunately, the first play of the game, they come out and the quarterback makes a bad pitch, and they end up fumbling the ball and turning it back over to the Vikings with a really short field to go right now. So we're going to see what they do.
Yeah, and Bundy is going to have to come back out, and he's going to have to get those 2 interceptions out of his head. He knows it's a championship game. He knows this is maybe his last game, and he's just going to need to continue. And off the helmet of Ryan Williams.
Yeah, you know, I think Ryan Williams just started seeing the end zone on that one.
Yeah.
He saw the ball come into his hands, and I know as a receiver, it's nerve-wracking sometimes when you see open field. You want to catch that ball and start going, but we have to remember you have to catch the ball and then you run. So that's a bummer to see Ryan Williams with the first drop of the night. But, you know, Chris Bundy's done a really good job tonight of coming out and clearing his head of those mistakes from before. We saw it happen before. He threw an interception, came down, marched down, and scored. And then he came out and threw interception. So we're going to see what he does now with his team.
So Bundy with the pump fake goes deep. And, with a dive, and it just goes off the fingertips.
Yeah, Daniel Parkinson with that dive. Guy, he's having a really good night tonight with a lot of good catches and just hustling. He split those 2 defenders right down the middle. Chris Bundy, the only thing he could have done better is maybe leave it a little shorter, but he was just trying to get it out there, hoping that Daniel was going to be able to run underneath that and catch the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, and with 3rd down and 10 to go, my prediction here is that it's going to be Bundy's going to roll out, and he's going to try to get the linebackers to bite on him, and he's going to try to dump it off.
I think so. I think like you were saying earlier, he's a really just versatile, and he's able to just run out on the outside, and if he needs to tuck it and run it, he can, but at the same time, he's going to have his arm to save him.
Oh, and he draws. He pulls it down, and it's going to be about 4th and 1. So it's a big risk here for the Vikings. You can go for it.
I honestly think they're going to go for it. With the way Ryan Williams has been running tonight and the way that Chris Bundy's been able to tuck the ball, they're going to keep it. It looks like Chris Bundy was looking at the coach right there and saying, "Coach, we're going to go for it." And I think that's a smart play right now. With 2 yards to go, it looks like they're really got their offense moving strong right now, and I think they'd be dumb not to go for it.
Yeah, I think that that if the Vikings don't get it, though, it's going to just keep on getting their confidence down, because it's going to be 3 turnovers, and the Hurricanes just need to take the momentum of a turnover. And so Bundy rolls left. It's brought down by Daniel Evans. He's running backwards. Brought down at the 31. So he got the first down.
Yeah, that was a really good catch by Daniel. Daniel's a tall guy, and it looks like Chris Bundy leaves it up there for him to be able to reach up and snag it so that he can keep it away from the defender. So I apologize. Daniel Evans did a really good job of being able to go up for that ball.
Yeah, and that would have been another confidence decrease, I guess you could say, on Bundy, if he would have thrown it over Daniel Evans' head for the 3rd turnover.
Going to the end zone.
Deep. Incomplete. He had the touchdown. He just got excited.
Yeah, that's a new wide receiver that he's thrown to. If I'm not mistaken, it's number 86, Ryan Banner. So that new receiver for Chris Bundy tonight. But you really have to use all that you've got on the field. You don't want to start getting predictable. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to bring that down in the back of the end zone.
Exactly. And 2nd and 10. They don't need to score right now. They just need to get some yards.
Yep.
So if I was the Hurricanes, I would come out preparing for the run, but expecting a pass.
Yeah. And we honestly, we haven't seen too many runs by Ryan. I mean, we've seen a couple draws by Ryan Williams, but Chris Bundy's been able to keep the ball. And there was a beautiful catch by Josh Ellsworth again. Brought it down to the 4-yard line. And it's like we've been talking about all night. Chris Bundy can roll out and throw, or he can roll out and run it. And so it's really just a tough thing for the Hurricanes to pick up on, because when they see him roll out, they want to bite. That defensive instinct says bite. But at the same time, you need to remember to stay back, because just what happened right there, you go over your head to Josh Ellsworth, and he brings it down to the 4-yard line.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just something that you can see a little frustration on Reg. That was his man again. That was how they first got their touchdown, and they almost scored on that one. You can just see the frustration coming off of Reg. He just needs to take a deep breath, know that there's still 2.5 quarters, and that there's time. There's a lot of time left on the clock, and anything could happen.
Yep, Chris Bundy with that touchdown, he did a really good job of reading that play. He wanted to go outside to the pass and just saw guys covered, and he didn't see anybody, any room for him to run on the outside. And sure enough, he turns around to look what he's got behind him, and he saw a wide open hole and dodged it 1 or 2 guys, but was able to put himself in the end zone untouched. So a really good play by Chris Bundy to find that end zone. So with 9:53 left, the Vikings are up 13-0, getting ready to kick the extra point. We're going to see if they're going to be able to convert here, as it looks like there's
they brought out a different ball.
A little trouble getting the ball out to the ref, but we're here and we're ready to snap the ball to see if they can get this ball through the uprights. The kick is on its way.
Good snap, good hold. The kick is no good though, so the score will remain 13-0 in favor of the Vikings.
Lining up, getting ready to line up for the third kickoff of the night. We're going to see what these guys can do. If the Hurricanes are going to be able to take this possession and come down.
And we just want to point out the Rexburg, Idaho Temple. We have a lovely view here at the campus at BYU, Idaho. It's a great privilege for me and Braden, because it's just up the road from us. We get to see it every day. And it's just one of the many great things about Rexburg, Idaho.
Yeah, it really sits nicely up there on the hill for all of Rexburg to see. I don't think there's a place here in Rexburg that you can't see it unless you're standing directly behind a tree. So it's just really nice to be able to wake up in the morning, walk around campus, walk around Rexburg, and be able to see that temple right up there on the top of the hill.
Exactly. And with the kick underway, Vikings 13, Hurricanes still at 0. We just want to thank the food service here at BYU Idaho for bringing out food for everybody at the concession stand. We want to invite everybody to come down and get some of the great food that's offered here at the crossroads of BYU Idaho.
Yeah, there's not a lot of times that they bring out bring out food concessions to the games, but because this is a special night, this is the alumni game, they decided to bring out concessions, and they've got cheerleaders, they've got a lot of activities going on for the students. This stadium is just getting more and more packed, which is really nice to see here on a Friday night. Really fun to bring the family out.
It's a deep pass. They're going for it, and it's just through the hands
of Marshall Meyer.
Marshall Meyer. He's been playing for 11 years. He's a CIT major. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He has been making a lot of plays for the Hurricanes this season, which is unfortunate on that one. A little too far, and was unable to pull it in.
So right now we're going to see what the Hurricanes are going to put together here on this drive. We'd like to thank our broadcasting crew who put together a great game tonight. We're really happy with the progress we've seen since the beginning of the season, and we just want to thank all of those that have helped with this game.
And they hand it off to Reg. Reg goes left with a stiff arm. Keeps breaking it outside. Strong runner. The stiff arm is his specialty when it comes to running the ball. He doesn't juke. He doesn't try to lower his head. He has a strong stiff arm, which gives him those extra yards that he's looking for.
Yeah. I honestly think that the Vikings did a really strong job of scouting this team. They know that Reg likes to run on the outside. He likes that stiff arm. And so they get one guy stiff arm, the other guy just goes and he gets underneath that arm and wraps him up. Reg, he's a strong runner, but he hasn't really been able to convert on anything big tonight, which is a bummer. We know it's frustrating in him, and we know what's going through his head right now with him being a key player and wanting to help this team out.
Yeah, and the big thing is, though, is that they're going to get the ball back in the second half. So if they can hold on to the ball and score, and oh, I thought he pulled that in, but unfortunately it was an incomplete pass for the Hurricanes.
You know, I think if he would have been able to keep that, he had it until he hit the ground, and because he hit the ground, it popped out, and the ref's going to call it incomplete.
Yeah.
But he did a great job with pulling that ball in, decided to go out for the dive. You don't see a lot of receivers do that, and a lot of times they get scared of that ground.
Yeah.
But he was willing to sacrifice himself and go out, and unfortunately he just was not able to keep it in when he hit the ground.
Yeah, there's a timeout on the field, so we'll be back after these messages.
Hey, Gabo, get in for Miller. Now. Let's go, guys! Ready! Hut, hut.
So we're back after that short message. We're with the Hurricanes. They have the ball fourth and about 6 to go to get a first down. It looks like they're going to keep it and they're going to try to go for it. Really risky play, I think, on the Hurricanes' part. They haven't been able to convert on any third downs. We're going to see what they can do on fourth down. If they don't convert, the Vikings are going to have really good field position to. Oh, and it looks like dead ball foul. It's offsides on the offense. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. So we're going to see what the Hurricanes decide to do here with it now being 4th and 11. It looks like they're going to bring the punt team on, which is a smart play, because I don't think they should have gone for it in the first place.
Yeah, and so the offsides was
really a crucial play right there.
And it's just a high punt. Didn't get too much distance, but they got the punter's bounce. So they will start the ball at the 43-yard line, at their own 43-yard line.
You know, it's funny to watch Daniel back there. You know, he kind of just watched that ball. He knew even if he did receive it, he couldn't run, so he kind of just watched it fall and drop it. With those new rules come out with no contact on kickoffs and on punts, I think a lot of the receivers have kind of just gotten lazy. They'll catch the ball, but they don't really have any excitement in their step when they get back there. It's not as fun as it used to be when they were in high school.
Yeah, and we just also want to remind everybody that at halftime there will be a ping pong drop here at the stadium for a raffle drawing for $100 worth of prizes at the BYU Idaho bookstore.
Yep, we're going to see a nice big helicopter come flying over this stadium and on a beautiful Friday night and drop some ping pongs. So we're going to see who wins.
Bundy with the rollout, comes across.
Daniel Evans almost with that catch. He's doing a really good job tonight of just kind of bringing that ball in. He was watching his eyes I apologize, Daniel Parkinson. But he was watching the ball and almost was able to grab it and bring it in.
Yeah, it seems like those are the twin duos for the team for receivers. You know, like on the Mighty Ducks, how they had it. But these are the two Daniels.
Yeah, you know, every once in a while you'll get confused with the Daniel Evans and the Daniel Parkinson. So I apologize for that. But both of them are playing a really good night, having a really good game tonight, and we're going to see them a lot more tonight, I guarantee it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same play because he was open, and the DBs just lost him. So Bundy with the rollout, he keeps his eyes downfield. He tucks it and runs and comes up. He gains about what looks to be 4 yards.
You know, with every possession, I'm getting a little bit more impressed with Chris Bundy and what he's doing here tonight. You know, a lot of quarterbacks maybe only get 1 or 2 yards, but he was able to read that, tuck it and run, and he did everything he could to make sure he got as many yards as he could out of that.
Yeah, and the way that the Vikings are playing, well, honestly, this looks like to me right now is the Alabama-LSU championship game. Alabama was able to score where on the other hand, LSU was unable to even get it past the 50-yard line in the first half.
Yeah.
So the Hurricanes are kind of like the LSU Tigers right now. We know they're good. We know LSU was able to get there, go undefeated, beat Alabama before. But unfortunately, in the championship, they were just unable to do so and weren't able to step up when needed. And the Hurricanes are reminding me a lot of that game right now.
Yeah, you know, and Daniel Parkinson right there with that catch. Like we said, we're going to see a lot of him and Ryan Williams, and we're going to see a lot of Josh Ellsworth. They're just playing great games, and you know, for a second I thought Parkinson was going to be able to dodge that one defender to get to the open field and get to the end zone, but he made a really good catch, turn and run for a couple more yards, and it's going to be 1st and 10 on about the 36 or the 34. I apologize.
And so with 1st and 10, to draw to Ryan, 5-yard gain.
It's a really smart play. They've been going to the air, and I think the Hurricanes were expecting him to go to the air again because they've kind of been picking on him tonight. But Ryan Williams with the draw play and tucks it and runs for a gain of about 5 or 6 yards. So we're going to see a big night from him. He's going to hopefully rack up a lot of yards here before we go into halftime with 7:20 left in the game.
And the last thing that the Hurricanes want right now is another touchdown on their hands because they're already going to have to dig themselves out of a huge hole. They need to make a stop right here. They need to be able to get the ball back into their hands, drive it down the field, at least put up 3 points, at least put up some points on the board. Touchdown would be optimal, but the Hurricanes just need to step up their game or the Vikings will run away with it. And speaking of running,
Chris Bundy again with the tuck and go. Looks like he got the first down. He's having a lot of time in the pocket, which is really good to see. Yeah, I mean, you only have 3 defenders on the field and maybe only 2 guys rushing. But he's doing a really good job of staying where he needs to on the field, and when he pulls out, he can tuck and run, or he has the ability to throw.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Daniel Evans, number 8, as he walks slowly to the huddle, is kind of is not out of shape. I apologize, but is kind of tired right now because he has been going deep. They've been passing the whole game, and so right now he's just looking like he's a little bit tired. So that's why Chris Bundy escapes somehow, dumps it off to Ryan. He's taken down at the 7-yard line. But that was an amazing play by Bundy.
Really, yeah. Bundy looked like he was going down there at the line of scrimmage, and apparently he didn't cross the line of scrimmage because he was still able to throw it, but he was able to break that tackle or 2 tackles, and they thought he was going to run, and so the defense bit, and he just did a quick lob pass to Ryan Williams and got a couple more yards out of it.
Yeah, and what would you do right here, Braden? First and goal on your own on the 7-yard line.
You know what? First and goal, I honestly try to do a quick pass, just a little out to maybe Daniel Evans and you know that's exactly what they do for the touchdown. They've been able to pick on the team all night long. They've been doing it in the air. Ryan Williams is running a great game, but I've always kind of been of the mentality, if you can throw on a team, throw on them until they stop it, and then run on them until they stop that. And if you can go to the air, you're guaranteed at least 10 yards every play, and it's a really good way to march down the field. And so if you can throw on them, run on them if you can run.
Yeah, the saying is, why fix something that ain't broke, right?
We hear that from our good friend Ibaka from the OKC. I apologize, from Perkins. Oh, kick no good. Hits the post. But that's the truth. Why fix something that ain't broke, Why change your game plan when it's working for you? If you've got plays and receivers that are catching, keep going to them. Keep throwing to them.
The Vikings Coach Spencer Ray, he actually played for Rick's College. And that's why he has been the Vikings coach. Every year that he's been up here, he is attending school. He's taking some classes, and that's how he's able to be the coach up here. And, he won the championship, not last year, but the year before. Every year he's the Vikings, and each team has new uniforms, and they are brand new. But Coach Ray has decided to keep the vintage Vikings uniforms from the days of Rick's College.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. because it's the tradition here. It's like everybody says, the spirit of Ricks. Oh, booming kick out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he missed his field goal. He tried to make up for it there.
You really have to sometimes. But it's like I was saying, it's the spirit of Ricks. It's always just nice to keep those vintage things. You walk through this campus, and the buildings sometimes look a little bit older, but it's a special place, and there's a special spirit about here that really draws people in, and I really like the idea of keeping the vintage jerseys, bringing it back to the old days when they were a junior college and having a lot of fun playing other teams.
Yeah, and a dominant college at that. Junior college champions numerous times.
We were able to bring in a lot of championships there.
And as the crowd gets excited, as they're throwing out what looks to be stuff for the raffle coming up.
Yeah, it looks like to be the last couple of things thrown out for the raffle right before halftime. Really excited to see what they decide to do here at halftime with this helicopter. It's something new that they've never done before. I think that's what's really brought a lot of people out. It looks like a lot of people are getting excited about it as the game draws to halftime.
And with the quarterback sneak, gets about 2.5, 3 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 7.
You know, with that play call, I'd like to say that the Hurricanes are just trying to get out of this play a little bit. They want to get out of this half. With the quarterback sneak, 1st and 10, and, you know, that's not my first play in the playbook that I'm going to decide to call, but every coach has their different scheme, and the coach for the Hurricanes thought that might be able to work.
Yeah, and they're just trying to get a couple more yards right now.
So here again, Hurricanes 2nd and 8. They're in the shotgun formation with number 5 in motion. It's going to be a pass.
It's a deep pass down the middle of the field. And
An
it's
interception.
intercepted.
Beautiful interception by Brock Haney from Meriden, Idaho. He's been playing for about 13 years. He's here as a sophomore. He's going to be an accounting major, but the ball, he was able to bat it up in the air, which is really what you want to do as a defensive back. You want to get the ball in the air so you can get yourself underneath it again. So he did a really good job of getting that up and getting underneath it and giving the ball back to Chris Bundy, who's been having a heck of a game tonight, really, Cameron. He's been able to lead this offense multiple times into the red zone, been able to convert on a lot of plays. So we're going to see what they do now with the ball just underneath the 50 going towards the end zone.
Yeah, and that just has to be a downer for the Hurricanes right now. They haven't even gotten past the 50-yard line going into their own end zone.
That's a tough break. You know, every once in a while you'll get games like that. Ryan Williams again with that fumble
with
the little bobble, getting ready to run, and luckily he was able to pull that one in because he got a lot of yards out of it. But I wouldn't imagine what would be going through his head if he dropped another easy pass like that.
Yeah, he bobbled at the beginning, but then he was ankle tackled by number 31. And unfortunately, we don't have his name up here on the roster. It's the coach's jobs to get us those names, and unfortunately, they did not. We just want to thank all the fans that have come out once again. We just want to get all the turnout that's been here. So if you're listening and you're in the Rexburg area, come out and support BYU Idaho, whether you attended Rick's or BYU Idaho, or whether you just want to see some good old-fashioned football. Because it's a Friday night, you have nothing going on. Come out and enjoy the fun and the atmosphere of
So that was a catch by number
football.
29, Bernie Diker. Did a really good job of pulling that ball in. The defender really broke on that and missed the tackle. Bernie was able to catch that ball and bring it in, but just wasn't able to keep his balance to bring it into the end zone, so he caught it and fell to the ground. But he did a really good job of pulling it in and keeping his concentration and getting the Vikings back into scoring range and back into the red zone.
Yeah, and after those 2 interceptions, Bundy just does not want to come up with another one.
So it looks
and
like
there's
there's
multiple flags on the
We're
field.
going to see what happens here. There was one in the backfield. It looks like it might have been holding as Chris Bundy was wrapped up by the ankles and going to throw that ball, and maybe one of his linemen held the defensive lineman. And then as they caught the ball and was going towards the end zone, I believe there might have been another holding, because there was guys that should have been tackled, but multiple fouls on the play. So we're going to see what happens.
Holding on the offense, blocking the back on the offense, face mask on the defense. And so looks like those are canceling out.
So, yeah, with penalties on both sides, they're going to cancel out, and it's going to be first down again. 6 yards to go to the end zone. We're going to see if they can punch it back into the end zone, this time without any penalties on the play. Chris Bundy, like I said, had a really good he's just working miracles tonight. He was wrapped up around the ankles and still got a really good pass off to his receiver.
As he drops back, he sees a receiver, and it was almost picked off again.
Hutch Thompson in the back of the end zone looking for that catch, looking for his first touchdown of the night. Wasn't able to hold on to it. The throw was a little bit behind him.
We just want to remind everybody to come out tonight at midnight here at the track to start off your 5K. The midnight 5K neon colors, please wear them. It's going to start exactly at 12, and I'm going to be running in it because it seems like a lot of fun, and you know just something that interests me.
I had plans to run in it as well, but due to some other injuries that have happened this week before, participating in the rec sports that go on here, the great athletics programs that we have out here. I'm actually not going to be able to run that with you, Karen, tonight, but I was looking forward to it. It's going to still come out. I'm still going to come out and support you, have a fun time out here. It's going to be a great atmosphere. So we invite all of you to come out and run the 5K with us tonight at midnight. Shirts
are $10, and I know I'm going to get a shirt for the memory of running a BYU Idaho midnight 5K. So caught, brought down by Ryan Williams.
Yep, Chris Bundy really just
third touchdown of the night.
Thread the needle on that one. He found Ryan Williams crossing across the middle and was able to put the ball right in the exact spot, right between the defenders. And Chris Williams didn't have much room with the defender on his tail, but he caught it and brought it right into the end zone. So going 3 minutes left before it goes into halftime, the Vikings have got a really good lead on this Hurricane team, 25-0. We're going to see if they're going to be able to put it through the uprights. They've had 3 opportunities, and they've botched 2 of them. So with Parkinson with the kick, it's good. So he's gone 50% for the night on extra points.
We want to let everybody know that right now the BYU Idaho dancers are getting ready to come out for the halftime show. And there we go. We got a picture of them, and that's the BYU Idaho dance team. They've been practicing. I drove by the stadium earlier today, Braden. I saw them out there practicing for their halftime show, so it should be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, really excited to see what that dance team was able to put together for us. It's really surprised me from the first game that we saw to this game now, how many people have come out. You can see we've got the local news crew down there walking the field, and it really is a big deal. There's a lot of people might not think so, but when it's alumni night here at BYU Idaho, it's fun night. And so we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight, and we're going to see the crowd get into it, and we're going to see the players just have a really good time. Hopefully the Hurricanes can go into halftime with their heads up and come back out after halftime and put together a couple good runs.
Yeah, and the Hurricanes are going to have to go in on the half and decide how they're going to come out. Because really, if you think about it, the Vikings have put up 26 in the first half. Why not the Hurricanes in the second?
Absolutely. They just have to get together as a team and understand that they need to play a really good defensive game and a really good offensive game. Honestly, something that we haven't seen too much of tonight. But hopefully they're going to be able to do something right now with it, and they're going to be able to put together a good series here with 3 minutes left. So right now, it looks like they got a trips right with running back in the backfield and kind of in a shotgun formation.
I think that they're going to try to, it looks like they're going to do an option. Tries to break it out. Reg, you can tell Reg is frustrated.
Yeah. Reg really was trying to, you can see him and number 25, Lehigh Thomas, really just butt heads right there. I think Reg was expecting to run him over, and Lehigh Thomas put up a really good job of standing Reg up and only let him get a gain of 2. But it's really risky to see that pitch play, especially with the fumble that happened earlier and the other pitches that have been behind Reg. If the quarterback can lead him on that pitch, I think Reg is going to be able to break one open tonight. But right now the quarterback's got to really work on that pitch and be able to get Reg a good lead pitch.
Yeah, and for the passing game, I think the biggest thing is the Hurricanes need to stop trying to go deep and scoring on every play. They just need to get yards. They need to go short passes, quick passes, to allow their team to get yards. So a quarterback keeper right now, close to the first down. And it looks like after the spot, they got the first down.
Yep. It looks like Reg was going to go out for a screen there, but Daniel Evans, number 8, was picked Reg up in the backfield and really spotted him out, and the quarterback had no choice but to tuck it and run. Weird formation, always seeing that trips on the weak side, on the short field side. But if it works for him, it works for him. Unfortunately, we haven't seen too many plays come out of that tonight, but hopefully we start to see more progress and then be able to spread the field and get the ball moving.
So they go trips right, pistol formation. And they go left, fake pitch, and brought down to the line of scrimmage for a gain of 0 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 with roughly a minute and 20 seconds left. And a timeout is called out on the field. So we'll be back with you after these short messages.
Hey, Gavo, get in for Miller. Now. Let's go, guys! Ready! Hut, hut.
Back, a deep pass for the Hurricanes, and out of the hands of number 2 for the Vikings, and out of the hands of the Hurricanes receiver. He just lost sight of the ball after the tip from the defense.
Yeah, I think as he kind of saw that ball get thrown behind him a little bit, and I think he had a chance to be able to turn around and get back to the ball and fight for it.
And we hear the helicopter coming in right now.
Getting people excited, showing people what's going to go on here at halftime. Not sure if they were coming around ready to drop the balls right about then.
And there we go. We got a picture for you.
Noticed that the players were on the field, so they decided not to drop the balls. But we're getting excited to see them come around and have a good showing by them.
Yeah, and look at all the fans that are down on the track right now. The little kids are getting ready for the ball drop. I think it seems like it's New Year's Eve right now.
Yeah, I might have to step away for a second to go see if I can win myself $100.
Yeah.
As college students, we need some money still. But it's really good to see that these little kids come out. They always have a saying up here that a lot of the times in the winter you don't know that there's kids in Rexburg, but in the summer they all come out to play. So it's really good to see them come out tonight and be on the field with us and get ready for that helicopter. I know it's probably a really exciting feeling for them being here underneath the lights.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was a kid and I would see college football. I'd go to the Georgia or Georgia Tech football games, and I'd be like, one day I'm going to be playing out there. And you just get excited. And as a kid, that's what you grow up dreaming. And I know all these kids right now are excited. They're probably more excited for the dropping of the ping pong balls.
I think so.
And just overthrown on 4th down. So with 54 seconds, the Vikings are going to come out and try to put some more points up on the board. They're starting going at the 30-yard line going into the end zone.
Yeah, and really the Hurricanes had no choice but to start trying to go long. I mean, less than a minute left, and you need to try to score. You're not going to try to run the ball because that's going to run the clock out. And it's really smart for them to go long, but I think the quarterback and the receivers need to go in right now and talk about what they need to do to keep their chemistry better. So we're going to see what happens here in the next couple of minutes. You can see that you've got a player walking off on that far side of the field, frustrated, taking his helmet off in frustration. Now that's not good to see. You know guys are going to get frustrated, but we just want to keep their heads up and have them keep playing strong.
And we'll just see if the Vikings run out the clock or what they're going to do here. They got a pretty good, substantial lead right now at 26-0 going into half. And
I've always had the mindset that if you can take it, even if you're going into halftime, you might want to take that extra touchdown or so to put yourself up, because you never know what happens in the second half. Like you were saying earlier, the Hurricanes can come out and they can score really fast and put up a lot of points. And so I always had that idea that you want to try to score before you go into halftime, especially when you know you're not getting the ball back to start off the next half.
And with a quick pass out, and he breaks loose. First down.
They're going to keep
9.5 seconds left on the clock.
Keep it in bounds, and it doesn't look like they're going to call a timeout, so they're going to go into the end zone.
Clock stops, though, on the first down. So they're just going to set up, and if I was the Vikings right now, I'd just run out the clock, because I wouldn't want the threat of throwing an interception for a touchdown for the Hurricanes.
That's what it looks like they're going to do. They're going to going into halftime right now with the Vikings up 26-0 on the Hurricanes. It's been a really good night tonight. We're getting excited here for halftime. We're going to see a dance performance by the dancers, and we're going to see this helicopter come by again and drop some ping pong balls for these little kids to go and see if they can win some money. So we're going to be back in about 20 minutes for the second half. We're going to stay with you during halftime and commentate what's going on.
And the helicopter is coming, getting ready for the ping pong drop.
You can see all those little kids really excited on the field. They came out running and dancing, and now the helicopter's coming.
And here
they
are.
are.
Oh, and everybody goes running.
There was no waiting there. They just booked it. You can see all the kids trying to grab as many balls as they can. They just announced the winning numbers are on the balls, and so they're going to see what's going to happen. It looks like they have a second dropping.
Yeah, for students.
For the students down here. So we're going to see what they do.
And
there's
here
the
they
second
go,
dropping,
and here goes the students.
Oh,
and
people just getting hit with ping pong balls, not waiting for the balls to hit the ground. Look at these little kids
Look
running
at
to the other side.
They're running to the other side. They're taking the students' ping pong balls.
They want some ping pong balls as well. Look at people's stuff in their pockets. Man, I've never seen so much greed ever.
It is just like somebody busted a huge piñata and candy is everywhere.
Really is. You know, you always see where the people throw the money from the skies and everybody wants to go run out underneath that money. That's what this just happened. People are throwing out prizes and people want those ping pong balls to see what prizes they're going to get. So now I would imagine here towards the end of halftime they're going to announce the winning number, and whoever has the most ping pong balls and has the better chance of winning. So we're going to see who the lucky winners are tonight. All these kids walking off happy. I see a couple kids, their pockets full, don't know where to put ping pong balls. You know, it's really good to see the excitement out here tonight. It's something that is just really special about BYU Idaho.
Yeah, and you know, Braden, if I wasn't up here broadcasting, I probably would have 20 balls in my pockets right now.
I really almost jumped out this window just to go down there. That excitement on the field just was, you could feel it all the way up here. So it was something I wanted to go. And
$100 can buy you a couple of books and stuff for next semester.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what I'm worried about so much, but that $100 can go a long way for a college
Or you
student.
can get that pullover.
So after that drop, the dancers are going to get ready to go, but we're going to go to a quick break here before the dancers step on the field.
Let's give a big round of applause to all the organizers.
And so as everybody's coming off of the field from the ping pong drop, the dancers are getting ready. And the music is about to start.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, if you'll please welcome to the field the BYU Idaho dance team.
And after that beautiful dance routine by the BYU Idaho, we are going to
see from the BYU Idaho cheer squad. So we're going to see what number they've got for us right now.
So after that lovely routine by the BYU Idaho cheer squad, we're going to continue with the festivities.
We would like to remind everyone again that there is a concession stand at the south end of the building. They have cheeseburgers for $2,
So really, after watching that first half, we're going to
football at Ricks College, BYU, Idaho.
A very special opportunity there to hear from Dick Williams, who used to be the old Vikings PA announcer. He was here when the Vikings were at junior college, and we apologize for cutting in on that a little late. But he was just saying how great it is to see that spirit of Rick's is still here, and that it has changed a little bit since he was the PA here. But it's just a really special opportunity to be able to come out and have an alumni come out and do his old job. I'm sure he was really excited to get back at that, and it's just good to have an expert come out and show us how to do it.
Exactly, and you could just tell that he loved being behind the mic and brought back memories of the old Ricks College football days.
So we're getting ready to kick off right now on the next game. The Vikings are up right now, 26-0. So right now the Vikings are up, getting ready to kick the ball off. We're going to see what the Hurricanes can do on this first drive.
And the first drive of the second half will be underway. Hurricanes will have the ball, and like you were saying, Braden, we're going to have to see what they're going to do with this. This is going to be the biggest opportunity that they're going to have to set the pace for their own selves to continue the second half if they want to catch up.
Yeah. So we're going to start off here with the new rules. They're going to take the ball from the 20 with the no contact rule on kickoffs and punts. So the Hurricanes here, Cameron, what do you think they talked about in the locker room, and what do you think the adjustments need to be made to come out here and have a successful second half?
Well, the thing I noticed most was the quarterback overthrowing his receivers for the Hurricanes. What they're going to need to do is come out and be more effective on offense, more efficient through the air, and more determined and more powerful on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. The quarterback was having a tough time connecting with his receivers, so hopefully this second half they're going to be able to put something together in the air and make some good plays over top. We saw him come out right there in the first play of the half handing the ball off to Reg, and Reg is limping off the field. It looks like he might have just taken a little sprain to the ankle or maybe a hit to the knee. Hopefully he can get that checked out and get back on the field before the night's over, and that it's not a game-ending injury.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that Hurricanes cannot have right now is for Reg to go out. He has set the pace throughout the whole season for the Hurricanes. He's been one of their leaders, and for him to go out now would just be a big blow, especially in the championship game.
Absolutely. So right now with the quarterback back in shotgun, gets a pass off to his wide receiver, and they call it incomplete.
That was a great pickup by Parrish, the running back number 2 for the Hurricanes. Even though he did get thrown aside, but he stopped the defensive lineman from getting back there and sacking the quarterback before he could get the ball away. The quarterback just needs to set his feet. He needs to be more patient, and he just needs to deliver a good ball to the right receivers that are open.
I think he got a little flustered there. He saw the rush coming, and luckily he had a good running back that was able to pick it up, but I think for a second he got scared that he was going to get sacked and just wanted to get the ball away, and then ended up not making a very good play on that move. On that throw. So right now the quarterback back again, running from receivers or from linemen, and it was an interception. And he carries a guy on his back and finally is drugged down at the 10-yard line with a hit from the quarterback. The quarterback just has to be a little bit down on himself right now. He just is not connecting with his own receivers, but he throws a great pass to the defensive cornerback or the defensive back to put the Vikings again in scoring range at the 10-yard line. We're going to see what they can do. I think they're going to be able to punch it in. They've got the excitement that they need right now coming off a strong first half.
Yeah, we also want to remind everybody to tune in and listen to Braden and me. I'm Cameron. Broadcast the future championship games in the following weeks to come. There's going to be baseball, volleyball, women's basketball, and
Chris Bundy with a great move to stay on his feet.
Wow.
He slides, and he looks like he got tackled, but He puts his hand down and makes sure his knees and his butt don't touch the ground, gets back up and looks at his wide receiver just in the back of the end zone. Like I said, Chris Bundy just have a great night, and I had a feeling they were going to be able to punch it into the end zone from the 10-yard line. That's really just something that they've done really well with tonight, and it really must just be demoralizing for the Hurricanes. It just is not helping them their morale, and it's just a bummer to see him go down like this right now.
Yeah, and just a quick bio on Chris Bundy. He's from Mount Vernon, Ohio. He's been playing for about 11 years. He's a business minor. He's a junior. Some of his hobbies are hunting, fishing, and sports. Sorry, ladies out there. He is married to Megan Bundy for 2.5 years now, and they have a 4-month-old baby boy named Keldon. So with the view of the Rexburg, Idaho Temple, once again, it's a lovely view here at Rexburg. The weather outside is really nice right now. It's roughly 68 degrees, and with a slight breeze. But I think it's going to be good to go for the 5K at midnight.
Yep. Something really special about those temples is that they always leave them lit at night. So you can always see the temple at night, drive by, and see the lights on. Something just really special that the LDS Church does with all their temples is they keep those lights on. So it's always just a good beacon, always a good reminder of the covenants that we've taken out with our Savior, Jesus Christ.
Exactly, Braden. And the boot, or the kicker, just kicked it out the back of the end zone.
So right now we're getting ready to start it off from the 20-yard line. We're going to have the Hurricanes starting on the 20-yard line, going for their end zone. Let's see what they can do. Hopefully the quarterback can get his offense going, pick him up a little bit. We're going to see what happens here on these next runs.
So, real quick, for the Hurricanes, number 1 has been known for their star receiver so far. This season, his name is Marshall Meyer. He's from Chicago, Illinois, Braden. He's been playing for about 11 years. And he's a freshman up here, a CIT major. His hobbies are messing around with friends and having a good time.
Yeah, and we've really seen him tonight, and he's had a pretty decent game. He's going to be good with. Hopefully he can put together a good half here, and we can see a lot more of him. So right now, we also want to introduce number 33, Michael Greenwood, for the Hurricanes. He's from Seattle, Washington. He's a junior. His hobbies are skateboarding and rap. He's married, and they have been married for 8 wonderful months to his beautiful wife, Kayla. And they've been in love for 6 years since the day they've met. So that's something special you don't see a lot of the time. So right now with the Hurricanes coming back, it looks like they're in a type of a pistol formation. A quarterback with a nice little dump. They just barely get past the line of scrimmage with a 2-yard gain. So we're going to see right now what they decide to do with 3rd and 4. Cameron, what do you think they're going to do?
If I was the Hurricanes right now in this situation, I would try to spread out the defense. So I'd put somebody in motion, mainly my running back, just to get the linebackers to follow him outside. And then I would do a run or a slight decoy with the quarterback too. I'm sorry about that. Got sidetracked talking about the Hurricane players. But to just, distract them in order for the quarterback to make the decision to run or throw. So if I was the Hurricanes, quick dump off pass.
Well, we'll see right now here what they decide to do as the quarterback rolls out left. Gets a good pass over the middle. Gets stuck immediately with no gain on the yards after catch. He doesn't rack any up. But he makes a really good catch, and that's really what the Hurricanes need right now to keep going. And so we're going to see what they can put together here for this next first down.
Yeah, and for the Hurricanes, number 2, their running back, James Parrish, is from Rexburg, Idaho. He's been playing for about 12 years. He's been a key impact player for the Hurricanes this season. He's a biology major, And he's also, says his hobbies is just sports, which is quite clear out here the way that he's been playing tonight. He's quick. He's made some good defensive stops. And he is married for about 6 months now. And he met his wife while working together with her at Wendy's here in Rexburg. So with the option, they go back to the option. The quarterback doesn't really understand what to do with the ball right there because that's the fourth time that he has ended up on the ground or trying to make something out of nothing and just turning the ball over.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but I think the coach is putting a lot of confidence right now in the quarterback with that option, but they're not able to convert on that. The quarterback's either keeping it at the wrong moment or he's pitching at the wrong moment, and so I don't think the quarterback's really gotten a grasp of what he needs to do on the pitch play. We've seen a lot of those option plays for a loss tonight, and it's unfortunate the coach keeps calling it. But right now we've got 7 minutes and 2 seconds. About 7 minutes left. The Vikings are up 32-0, and we're going to see what the Hurricanes can do here with these next couple of drives. Looks like it's a reverse to James Parrish. For a second, it looks promising. The defense bit on the fake, but he still only got about a gain of 4 yards. So we're going to see 2 yards. So we're going to see what happens here. It's third now. Third and about 8 to go, about 7 to go. Apologize. And we're going to see what happens here with the Hurricanes and what they decide to do.
And we want to remind everybody to come out at 12 o'clock once again. Bring $1 because that is how much it costs to run the 5K. Midnight run at BYU, Idaho. And a quick dump-off pass tipped by what looks like to be number 33, Michael Greenwood.
Yeah, it looked like it hit his hands and he just wasn't able to bring it down, and so it bounced up over his head, and so the pass was intended for number 33, and we're going to see if they keep going at him or what they're really going to do on this fourth down, if they decide to punt it away or go for it. Personally, I think they might as well just go for it. What have they got to lose? They're down 32. They need points on the board, and either way, they can give it to the Vikings at the 20-yard line or they can give it to the Vikings here. It's really just a toss-up play. You have a better shot of going for it and seeing what happens rather than just automatically giving it to the Vikings.
Yeah, I don't think that the Hurricanes have even been on the opponent side of the ball or on the opponent side of the 50 all game. They haven't been able to cross midfield. So they need to do something right here. He has time. He just needs to make his reads. Goes deep. And
it was a missed catch by Marshall Meyer. It was a long pass. It looked like it was a good throw. But what happened was he didn't lead his receiver. He left him there to jump for it, and Marshall Meyer had to fight 3 other guys to get up there.
The Vikings head coach is Spencer Ray. He has been coaching up here at BYU Idaho for the past 3 to 4 years. Like I said earlier, he has been able to obtain the Vikings name up here because he played at Ricks College when they were the junior college. His coaching style is what I like to call a unique one, just because of the way he runs things. He has never played 9-man football, never coached against 9-man football, and yet he is able to take his team undefeated to the championship.
Yep. With the Hurricanes right there bringing the entire house on Chris Bundy, he had 3 guys there for the tackle. I'm not quite sure who they're going to reward the sack to. But Chris Bundy there with a big loss, just trying to run away and get away from those defenders with a loss of 10. So now the Vikings are going to have to go 20 yards to get the first down. Something I'm not too worried about with the Vikings because they have been moving the ball really well tonight. They've got receivers that catch the ball and they get a lot of yards after the catch. And so I don't think Chris Bundy's too worried right now with the position they're in. I think he takes it more as a challenge, and he's ready to see what happens.
And Bundy rolls right, finds a receiver on the sideline. Big hit.
Big hit. You had number 29, though, take that hit. It was number 29 for the Vikings, and he made a great catch right there and was able to take the hit as he fell out of bounds. That was number 29, Bernie Diker.
Yeah, and James Parrish is the one that gave the hit to him, the one that we just talked about a little bit earlier. And so it looks like on the field, or on the track right now, there's some sack races getting lined up to go after the third quarter.
So right now the Vikings, third and 12 to go. Chris Bundy keeps the ball, and he calls out where he needs the block to get to the first down. He gets the first down and more. It looks like there's a penalty on the play, so we're going to see what happens. So with the refs talking about the call, we're going to hear what the call is. So there you heard it from the special PA announcer, Dick Williams, who came back from a couple years, made the call right there. Did a really good job. Doesn't look like he's lost any talent at all. He's still just feels really good and comfortable behind that mic, something Cameron and I are still learning to do. But with that call, the face mask, it's going to be a good movement on the ball for the Vikings. Now on the 13-yard line, getting ready to punch it into the end zone. We're going to see what Chris Bundy does here. The ball a little high, but Daniel Parkinson again with that attempt to catch the ball and bring it down. He's had a really good night tonight.
Yeah, and that was just an unfortunate call for the Hurricanes. Really, they could not. They could have avoided that with a pretty simple play. All they had to do was just contain Bundy. They knew that he was fast and he likes to run outside, especially on a long down situation. Just because he really does like to pull the linebackers in and try to get away from him, just so he can lob the ball over. So Bundy over the middle, caught.
And it's going to be touchdown.
Touchdown, Vikings.
So that was a really good catch by number 88, Josh Dunn. Had a really good solid catch, and it looked like for a second he might not be able to get in there, but he was able to pull it down and just leaned right over that goal line to count it for another 6 points on the board. So right now we've got the Vikings up 38-0 with 3 minutes left in this third quarter. And the Hurricanes coach is probably thinking this time's running out really fast. I know I just looked at the clock and didn't even realize that there was still 3 minutes left, or only 3 minutes left in this third quarter. So with that said, the Vikings go ahead and the extra point is good. So it's going to put them up 38-0 with 2:54 left in the game.
Yeah, and I think that the Hurricanes right now have, unfortunately, accepted the defeat just by the way they're walking around, keeping their heads down. But that's something that they don't need to do right now. They need to continue strong and put some points up on the board, because this is not the way they want to go out.
Yep. So right now we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you guys after these little messages.
All right, and we're back after that short break.
So the Vikings have been consistently kicking it into the back of the end zone. It doesn't really make it fun for those receivers that decide to stand back there. But the ball's going to start on the 20. We're going to see what the Hurricanes can do. I would imagine that their excitement, their morale is a little down right now, unfortunately. They slowly see this game starting to slip away from them. I think they kind of saw that in the first half, but still had hope that maybe they could come out and put together a really strong third quarter and give themselves a chance to the fourth quarter. But with time slowly running down, It looks like it might just be over for them tonight, but I'd still like to see them come together and as a team and have a really strong fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I think that the Vikings are going to start running the ball more actually right now. I know Coach Ray is a standout coach, and he would not like to run up the score, especially on a night like alumni night, just to embarrass the Hurricanes right now. So I think that Coach Ray is going to start running the ball more and letting the clock run down, just so that his team can come out victorious. But I honestly don't think that he's gonna keep calling defenses strong, so that they can at least have that 0 up on the board by the end of the game.
Yep. Hopefully these Hurricanes are going to be able to put together a good offensive run offensive series here now that it's 2nd and 11 yards. So we hope to see the quarterback kind of step up here this series and be able to throw to his receivers, be able to connect with them. That really they don't want to run the ball as much. They haven't had much success with that. I think they've had more success with the pass plays tonight. But they gave the ball back to Reg, and he actually breaks one.
Nice run by Reg.
Gets the first down. Really excited about that. We thought for a second he might have been a little hurt. He walked off the field limping. And it looks like he come back, and he... Oh, excuse me.
That's actually Justin Togisala.
Oh, there you go. So
77. Couldn't see the 7, but he's a Samoan.
He's Samoan, and maybe that's why.
He gets super excited. I knew by that yell because he also played on my team. He's a great defensive player.
Yep, high snap, and he's able to get the ball, do a stiff arm, and got about 7 yards off of it. So it's good to see that all of a sudden they're starting to move the ball a little bit. Maybe they can put a little bit more trust in that running back and see what they can do. So it shows on the roster that he's an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, and they've decided to put him back there as a running back. So it's really good to see that he's willing to do what it takes for their team, and he might be a big guy and might not be very fast, but he knows how to lower his shoulder and get through the line. And I think that's really what they need right now to start moving the ball. They're getting closer to that 50-yard line. Hopefully we can see them cross it here pretty soon.
Yeah, and now Mauser is also a lineman. He was also one of the coaches at the beginning of the season, and ended up being able to suit up for the rest of the season midway through. He just carried the ball, so it looks like they're trying to get a little bit extra force in running the ball, and they're putting their offensive linemen in the backfield. So as the time runs out, the score is Vikings 38, Hurricanes 0. We will be back with you after these messages. And we're back. with you after those messages or that BYUI slogan. The beginning of the fourth quarter, the score is 38 Vikings, 0 for the Hurricanes. I'm Cameron.
And I'm Braden. With 12 minutes left in this game, we're really going to see what the Hurricanes decide to do here. It was 3rd and short, and they looked like they were trying to push for the first down, and we're going to see if the refs spotted them a good spot, and if they get it, hopefully I'd like to see them cross the 50-yard line for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and I don't want to say it's out of hand because anything could happen, Braden, but it just seems like really too steep of a mountain to climb right now for the Hurricanes.
It really is, but hopefully, they don't give up and they still just decide to come out and play. I know sometimes it gets tough to want to finish the game, but if you keep the mindset this is your last game and this could be your last time really playing organized football like this, it really just makes it worth it to come out. I know looking back at my career in the past, I wish sometimes I would have put a little bit more effort into that last game when we were down. It would have made the experience just a lot more joyful and it would have given me a lot more perspective nowadays.
And so with the handoff, James Parrish on the outside lowers his head and gets roughly 2 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 8 as they come closer to midfield for the first time of the night.
Really, you can see that just the difference in the two teams. The Vikings are still coming out. They're really excited. They kind of have a good feeling. They think they've won the game. And unfortunately, you see the quarterback walking back from talking with his coach, walks with his head down a little bit. So you can just see the different mannerisms going on right now. Unfortunately, that's not really what you want to see from the Hurricanes right now. You want to see them have that pop in their step, thinking that they can come out and play some good football. But really, as they walk to the line and as they walk to their positions, you don't really see that excitement as much, which is a bummer. But, they've had a good season. They've played well enough to come out here to the championship, and hopefully they can just put together a good last quarter here to go out on a strong note.
And Justin Togisala with the carry. It looked like the whole Vikings team had to assist to take him down. He's running with some force. He's upset because of the score. I know that he's grateful to be in the championship, but he wouldn't want it to end like this. So he is putting everything he has into each run he has been able to receive.
Yep. So we're going to see now what the Hurricanes decide to do, 3rd and long. You would think that's going to be a pass play. They haven't really been able to convert on those, and I don't know if they're going to have a strong enough runner that's going to be able to get them all 11 yards that they need. But we're going to see right now what happens, what the coach decided to call, and what the players decide to do here on this possession.
So a 3rd and 11. They come out in the shotgun full house. Deep pass. And it's an incomplete pass. So
Pass
broken up 4th and 11.
Pass broken up really well by that cornerback. He did a really good job of turning around, keeping his eye on the ball, and putting his hand up to disrupt, one, the player, and second, get his hand on the ball. And I don't think we've given a lot of credit to this Vikings defense tonight. The Hurricanes do have a good offense, and they've been a higher scoring team this season. They've done a really good job of running offense. And this Viking defense really has just come out and shut them down tonight. They did a really good job of scouting them and putting together a good defensive sequence to make it so they can't run on them or they can't throw on them. So as much as we want to say that the offense just isn't working as well, the Vikings have also done a really good job of putting a good defensive sequence together and shutting them down.
And with 4th down, they decide to punt the ball, which is a smart decision. They just do not want to have
punt blocked. It looks like it's going to go out of bounds at probably about the 43-yard line. So again, with that, the Vikings are going to have really good position. We're going to see what happens here if the coach decides to keep going and keep scoring, or if they're going to take it a little bit slower. We're going to go here in a little break, and we'll be back after these short messages.
And Chris Bundy drops back. It looks like the pass is just a little too much overthrown.
So it looks like the coach just wants to keep going at it. You'd expect to see maybe some run plays, but he wants to see Chris Bundy's arm still in action and went for a long pass there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to connect, but I think we're still going to see the offense pushing it and putting some more points on those boards.
Yeah, and for most of these players out here, especially for the Hurricanes, this is going to eat at them until the next season. So they're going to come out ready to play in fall of 2013, those that are here on track. I know Reg has already talked about it. That was a great bat down by number 45.
Yeah, he was able to get his hands on there and break up that pass. Chris Bundy rushed that a little bit, I think, and hopefully they're going to be able to convert here, 3rd and long. Hopefully they can put something together here so that it's not such a quick series for the Vikings and they don't turn it over on downs. But I have a feeling that they're going to go for another pass and get the 10 yards.
And so with 3rd down and 10, Chris Bundy tries to run. I thought he passed line of scrimmage.
No, it doesn't look like it. And they find number 2, Hutch Thompson, open. He's been looking for his first touchdown tonight. Had a couple times in the end zone where the ball was thrown to him and he wasn't able to pull it down. And it looked promising there for a second. He had a good catch and it looked like he was going to make it, but the defender caught up to him and tackled him. So I'm sure he's just a little bitter right now. I've had many of those. Looking back in the past, where you get so close to the end zone and you just get tackled right there in the last couple of yards before you can rack up another 6 points. But hopefully they go back to him and they give him a chance to get a touchdown in this high-scoring game. So with that said, Hutch Thompson is actually from Rexburg, Idaho. He's been playing for about 17 years. He's an exercise physiology major, and he's a junior. And he has been married for 4 years, and they met when they were in school. And so you see a lot of guys come out here that are actually married, and it's good that their wives and their families give them time to come out here and still play some football. So the touchdown was made by number 86, Ryan Banner. We've heard a little bit about him tonight. He's made a couple good catches. He's from Nampa, Idaho. This is his rookie year for BYU Idaho. He's only played 2 years of high school football, so it's really good to see him come out, still being a newcomer, and pulling a catch for the for the touchdown. His major is political science. He's a freshman here, and his hobby are sports, politics, and news, and dates with the ladies. So it doesn't look like he's married. So any ladies listening, come on out. Ryan Banner, good guy, made a good touchdown, so you can talk about that on your date. But it's like he sounds like he likes getting to know the ladies a little bit.
So with 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, the Vikings 45 and the Hurricanes 0.
And I think the Hurricanes are really just trying to get out of this one. Unfortunately, they kind of see that their season's over. And they just want to walk away from this game, not really having much memory of it. But the Vikings are getting really excited right now. You can see them cheering on the fans that are doing the potato sack race down here. Another view of our beautiful temple up here at Rexburg, Idaho. So blessed to be able to have that just a couple miles away from really anything. So it's really good to know that that's up there on the top of the hill and that you can always see that as you walk around Rexburg.
And as the Vikings get ready to kick it away, the Hurricanes prepare themselves for offense, and their coach is talking to him right now. You can tell he's a little frustrated himself because of the fact that they have been unable to pass midfield, let alone score. So what they're really looking for right now is to put some points up on the board.
So the Vikings, for the first time tonight, decide to keep it in the end zone and let James Parrish touch the ball. You can see him there. It's good to see that he still has a sense of humor. He was joking with the refs, asking why he wasn't allowed to run, making jokes about running a couple yards to get a couple more yards out of the kick. But it's good to see that he still has that sense of humor, even though they're down, and that he understands that this is just a fun game of football, and there are being able to walk away saying you're the champion, but there's nobody out here making the $1 million for winning a Super Bowl. So it's good to know that he can still end the night and have a good time.
Yeah, and that's really what you need out here. It's competitive sports. They're not playing the other colleges. They're playing each other right now. And they just need to know that there's always going to be a next time. Right now, this is, well, it's a bad snap, but they came back out in their unique formation.
Yeah, I don't even know what you call that formation, but the coach apparently wants to go with it and see what he can get off of it. And there was just a bad snap, and unfortunately they weren't able to keep it in, and they got sacked for a big loss.
And the Hurricanes coach, this is his first year coaching up here. His name is Eric Tutterton. He's a volunteer. He was a last-minute option for the competitive football up here at BYU Idaho. He has some football background, and he's not really a loud-spoken coach, but throughout the season he has been making good calls. I don't know what he decided to do during the championship game, but unfortunately it hasn't worked out for their good.
So there was a pitch, number 7, Reg Sutton, and unfortunately they just can't get the ball rolling on this. They're getting they're getting tackled for losses, or they're not able to turn that corner and get that full head of steam like they want to get down past that 50-yard line. So now with 3rd and very long, we got about 3rd and 20 yards. Most likely going to be a pass here, unless they want to try to do some trick play, but those haven't been working for them tonight either.
Yeah, and I'm really rooting for the Hurricanes to put some points up on the board, or at least cross the 50. But with 3rd and 23, the defense knows that they're going to try to go for a deep pass. Actually,
and they don't. They decide to run the ball, and it's now 4th down and about 18. He got about a gain of 2. Number 5 with that carry. Taylor, the Iron Man Blegan from Compton, California. He's been playing for about 4 years. His major is culinary arts. He's a freshman, and his hobby's getting money, hustling, and riding dirty. Not quite sure what any of that means, but apparently he likes doing all 3 of those.
He is from Compton, so. And I believe he gave himself the nickname Iron Man, if I remember right, from the first game.
Yep, I remember talking to him in the locker room before, and he asked us to call him the Iron Man. Unfortunately, that game we didn't really see any Iron Man-like moves, and unfortunately this game we haven't either. So I can be honest with you, I don't know if he's earned that nickname this season, but hopefully next season he can come out, and if he still wants that nickname, if he makes a couple good plays, I'd be more than happy to give it to him.
And the punt did not work out. So unfortunately for the Hurricanes, they have turned the ball over in the Vikings red zone. So the Vikings will come out and most likely put up another touchdown.
Yep, I think they're. I don't think the coach is going to try to play it easy. There's 4 minutes left. He might run the ball, but I think he's just going to go for the end zone. Just keep it going, keep the clock running, and hopefully we see them do something here.
Maybe the defense will be able to step up and make a big play to put some points up on the board. It looks like they're just running the clock now. It's the mercy rule here at BYU Idaho, and in most places the clock will just continue to run until the game is over now. And that's actually fortunate for the Hurricanes because they don't want to go down 52-0.
Yep.
Keep it under 50.
So they're giving a lot of the opportunities to some of the guys that maybe haven't touched the ball as much. Lehigh Thomas there with a pitch play. He's been playing for about 14 years. He's from, it doesn't actually say where he's from, but he's a major biology. He's a sophomore. His hobbies are snowboarding, weightlifting, and he loves music. He's engaged to Bree McDonald's, and they actually met at their family home evening group. So you single men out there, go to your family home evenings. It's a definite place where you can meet some beautiful young women And maybe you never know, like Lehigh Thomas, you might meet your future wife there. So there with a direct snap to Ryan Williams.
Out to the left, lowers his head, gains a couple more yards after the initial contact. So we want to remind everybody, in 1 hour, come on down here for the Midnight 5K put on by BYU Idaho. Bring your running shoes, dress up in awesome uniforms, come as Batman, Spider-Man, the Hulk, a princess, a fairy. I don't care. Just come down, run this 5K with us, and enjoy the lovely weather that we have been blessed with tonight, especially here in Rexburg, the bipolar weather that we all come to accept and to love.
So number 18, Barack Haney with that looked like direct snap again. Just trying to get into the end zone. You can see him stretch there as he got down, but the refs aren't going to give it to him. They're going to put it where his knee was down. First and third, the coach doesn't want to stop. Or I apologize, second and third, or 3 yards. The coach doesn't want to stop. He just wants to keep pushing, putting the number on the board, which is good. You know, as we mentioned earlier, the Vikings are wearing these alumni jerseys tonight, and they've been wearing them all season because that's what the coach wants to do. And I think it's good for these alumni members to come out and just remember the good old days when they'd come out and they'd watch a JUCO team come out. And I'm sure it's probably bringing back a couple memories when they'd win some championships. So as they give the ball to number 43.
Scores the touchdown.
Actually don't have his number.
Peyton
his
Lindholm, I believe that was.
Yep, there you go. Hayden Lindholm.
Oh, Hayden Lindholm.
Probably not a guy that touches the ball very often, so he's really excited right now to be able to call his parents tonight and say that he scored a touchdown. And so it's really fun to see that these guys that usually don't touch the ball be able to touch them and especially get touchdowns. I know it's a really fun time when they're able to do that for their team.
Yeah, and you can just see the Hurricanes over there on the sideline sitting on the bench. They have put up with a lot tonight. A beating, is to say the least. We just want to invite everybody that's listening right now to tune in next week when Braden and myself will be announcing the championship basketball games, the baseball games, and
baseball is actually tomorrow at 2 p.m. So if you're listening to this, you're gonna want to come out and watch that tomorrow at 2 p.m. And we actually have a person on the crew playing in that game tomorrow. So we're maybe go out and see him play and see how he does in that championship game.
So with a minute and 39 seconds left on the clock, the Vikings will kick it off, and this should end the game with the ball in the possession of the Hurricanes.
So we'll see what they decide to do here with a minute 30 left in the game, minute 34. So I'm sure they're probably just gonna try to run the clock down, and you know the crowd is really excited. It's kind of dimmed down a little bit. Some people have gone home kind of seeing this game get a little bit out of hand. I know it's really tough to sit and watch these games, and it's really tough especially for the losing team to have to sit through the entire game. I've been on the bad side of these games before, and you know you have to do it. That's part of the game, and unfortunately we weren't able to see much of the Hurricanes and see them end this season.
Yeah, and right now, I just think that the Hurricanes should come out and run the ball, like you said, you know. And the clock is running for the mercy rule. So fortunately for them, the Vikings will not be able to put up any more points.
We don't think, you never know what happens.
Yeah, defense could. And Toisala was with the carry on the outside.
And Lehigh Thomas was able to grab his jersey and spin him out of bounds with the tackle. So it's good to see them both ending well and finishing strong. No one really giving up and just playing to the last buzzer.
And with under a minute to go, the score is 52 for the Vikings, 0 for the Hurricanes. So for those alumni, like Braden said earlier, they are happy to see their past times and remember the good old days of the JUCO college when they won numerous championships. And I know Coach Ray's happy, and I'm expecting him to get the water dumped on this during this game.
Yeah, it looks like we got two linemen standing over there by the table. They're getting ready to dump the water. Oh, ball up. Oh, it almost looked like it was going to be a reception. First a reception, then an interception, and back to a reception. But it was just confusion, and unfortunately they weren't able to bring it down.
So with 16 seconds left to go in the game, the coach has just been crowned his victory bath, as you could say. I know that's cold, though, by the reaction, but he's happy to have that happen to him. As the Vikings celebrate on the sidelines, they're the champions of BYU Idaho Competitive Football League.
Yep.
And the time runs out.
Oh, they stop it with 0.2 seconds left on the clock. Not quite sure.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, pie eating contest. What's going on here? I didn't know this was happening.
No, I guess they wanted to do it before the game was over. But with the game over, the final score 52-0, your Vikings win against the Hurricanes. Really something that wasn't expected. But we want to congratulate the Vikings. We want to thank the crew that's put this together. It was made it possible. One of probably our best productions of the year. So it's really good to finally start getting things under control and to come out and have a good broadcast. So we thank you, and we appreciate all of you that decided to tune in and watch us. We'd like to remind you, 2 p.m. tomorrow up at the baseball fields is going to be the baseball championship. So we hope to see you there. It's going to be a fun time, and hopefully it's going to be a fun time like it was tonight. So again, congratulations to the Vikings. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys next season.
Thank you.